So you want to know how to make projectiles just like this? Well then, let me show you how it's done. Okay, I'll say right away that I won't show you how to make effects like that, or this video would be way too long. And to be honest, visual effects deserve a separate video. So I'll just tell you what you need. And that is a projectile itself, charging effect, and explosion. Or even two. Then just pack it into a folders like this and put it inside a replicated storage. Now let's quickly make some animations. First, let's make a loop animation. It's just a single frame set on a loop, so make it something like this. Now we do wind up animation. Import the loop we just did and make a wind up animation. Put an event right here and make animation go a bit longer so it connects to the loop, and set animation priority to action 2. And make a wind down animation. Import loop animation and make the animation. Keep it short though, because we aren't using events on this one, so that there is no delay between releasing M1 and projectile spawning. And set animation priority to action 2 as well. Go to the replicated storage, put all of your animations in a folder, and insert remote event. After that, go to the starter pack, insert tool, and put a local script inside of it. To the scripting we are. Go get some services, local player, character, humanoid, get mouse from local player, get a remote event, get animation folder, and a tool. Load the animations, make some false values, make a table with airborne statuses, and another value which is our cooldown. Change the equipped local with equipped and unequipped events. Connect function using input begun event, get input and GPA, which is a game processed event. Make a check. If GPA or equipped equals false, then return. That will make sure that function doesn't fire when there is a game processed event like chatting, or when the tool isn't equipped. Make another check for the user input time to be mouse button 1. And cooldown set to false. Set cooldown and charging to true. Fire remote event with a projectile name, state, and an empty table. Set humanoid walk speed and jump height to 0. Create a new instance align orientation inside of a character's primary part. Set mode to the enum orientation alignment mode 1 attachment. Set cframe to cframe.new, character primary part position, and mouse.hit.position. Attachment 0 equals to character's primary part root attachment, max torque equal to math.huge, and responsiveness to something above 50. Make a check for airborne statuses not being true, and if so, set primary access only to true. Connect a function to the animation events inside of a wind up animation using getMarkerReached signal, and play loop animation. Make a repeat until loop, put a task.wait, and update align orientation cframe. Fire a server with projectile, state, and a table containing cframe that equals to character's primary part cframe, and a destination equal to the mouse.hit.position. Set humanoid walk speed and jump height back to the normal amount. Stop the wind up animation in case it projectile fired before it ended. Stop the loop animation and play the wind down animation. Destroy the align orientation and align position. Task.wait how much your cooldown is, and set cooldown to false. Connect another function using input.endEdEvent. Get input. Make a check for the user input type to be mouse button 1 and equipped to be true, and just set charging to false. Create a script inside of a server script service. Get a remote event. Make a table with all of your modules that we're gonna make a bit later. Connect a function using on-server event, getPlayer, projectile, state, and data. Set data character to player.character. Use remote to fire all clients with projectile, state, and data. That will replicate visual effects for everyone. Okay, now pay attention to the brackets. Your modules table, projectile, server, the module we're getting, state, the function inside a module that we fire, player, and data is what we send along with it. Insert a local script inside of a starter player scripts, get a remote event, make a table with all of your modules that we're going to make after that, connect a function using onClient event, get projectile, state, and data. Request desired module and function while sending the data. Create a module inside of a local script, put your module's name on the starting table, and return. Get some services and folders with our effects. Assign speed, gravity, and radius. Create new function called projectile.charge. Get data, get character, clone charging effect, set anchor to false, name it characters.name, projectile charge. Go to the workspace and create an effects folder inside of it. Parent charging effect to the effects folder inside of a workspace. Create a new instance wield inside of a charging effect. Wield.part0 equals to the character's right hand and part1 equals to the charging effect. Now let's make sure our effects look the same on every graphic setting. So for IV in pairs, effect attachment, get children, graphics level equals to user settings, game settings, saved quality level, value. Emitter rate equal to emitter rate multiplied by 10 or any other graphic level you want to replicate, divided by graphics level. Create another function called projectile.fire, get data, set character to data character, make a local with raycast params.new, set filter type to exclude, set filter descendants instances to the table with effects folder inside of a workspace and a character. Find the charging effect by name, use in pairs loop to disable all particle emitters inside of it, and use game.debris add item to delete it after some time. Set this time to the highest lifetime of a particle emitter inside of it. Now clone the projectile effect, set its cframe to data.cframe, and set its cframe again to the cframe.new, projectile position, data destination, and parent it to the effects folder inside of a workspace. Save projectile position. This will return a line 1 stud long and multiply it by speed so we know in what direction and how fast our projectile has to travel. Now we're gonna have to do some math. Assign empty local and use it to connect a function using runService.heartbeat. Get delta time, which is the thing that allows us to calculate the time in seconds. Save velocity of a previous frame. Set velocity to velocity minus vector3.new, 0 gravity 0 multiplied by delta to calculate how far do we need to go on that frame, depending on how long it takes to process. Now average velocity between this and previous frame, like this. Use a raycast to check for a surface on the line between position and step. And of course don't forget to put our params here. Make a check for raycast hidden surface. Clone the explosion effect. Set its position to the result.position. Parent it to the effects folder inside of a workspace. Use for loop to emit particles from all emitters equal to the amount set in attribute emit count. So this attribute is usually set automatically by some particle plugins. But here is how you set it manually. You have to do this for every emitter separately. Use game.debris add item to delete explosion after a time equal to the highest lifetime of a particle emitter inside of it. Disconnect the connection, else set the position to the position plus step. Go outside of a raycast check and set projectile cframe to the cframe.new position plus velocity.unit. Now return to the server script and create a module inside of it. Just copy everything from the module we just did and delete everything related to the effects. Assign damage and put a hitbox inside of a raycast check. Now, there is many ways to make hitboxes, and they all have their upsides and downsides. But since this video isn't about them, I'm just gonna use this. So, make new overlap params, set filter type to exclude, go to the workspace and create a map folder. And put your map inside of it. Set filter descendants instances to the table with player.character, workspace.map and workspace.effects folder. Get part bounds in radius using result.position, radius and params. Create an empty table, use for loop to get all parts inside of the hitbox, make a check if it has a humanoid inside of its parent, and its parent isn't inside of a table. Now put its parent inside of a table and subtract damage from the humanoid.health. Go and put your modules inside of a local and server scripts respectively. And just like that we have a proper projectile. Now let's do other ones. To do this, duplicate a tool inside of a starter pack with a local script, go inside of it and use find and replace to replace name of your projectile to something different. Duplicate modules inside of a local and server scripts and do the same thing. After that, put your modules inside of module tables. Okay. Now let's make a projectile that deals damage to everyone it touches while it travels in a straight line and explodes after a certain distance. Go to the local module, set max distance, set gravity to 0, set distance to 0, delete everything related to the raycast inside of a fire function and replace it with distance equal plus step.magnitude. Make a check if distance is higher or equal to the max distance. And just put the explosion here. Now go to the server module, do the same thing, copy hitbox and put it outside of a distance check, but multiply damage by delta time. That means it will deal amount of damage assigned to it in a second of a contact with a projectile. And finally, a bouncing projectile. Copy all of the needed scripts, set max bounces and the bounciness, where 1 equals it's not losing any velocity after bounce, and 0 doesn't bounce at all. Set bounces to 0, add 1 bounce to bounces inside of a raycast check, make a check if bounces is more than max bounces, disconnect the connection, destroy projectile, and play the big explosion effect. Go below normal explosion and use this equation to reflect it off a surface. Go to the server script and do the same thing. Alright, that would be everything. Hopefully I was able to teach you one thing or another. Comment what would you like to see next, and go watch my previous video where I teach you how to make health and energy bars. Leave me a like if you have some to spare, and goodbye.